Number 2. It's the Joker. And he's a tragic character. He really is. He's always forced to smile to kind of give off that chaotic energy, but inside he's obviously some kind of hurt. He's a character that he doesn't do a lot in the grand scheme of things. He always gets away, I suppose, but he doesn't ever stop Batman, and he never forces Batman into a corner that Batman can't find himself a way out of, isn't it? I think that this Brickhead in particular has a very tragic look. I think it's the mouth mostly. It's the first Brickhead with a mouth, as far as I know. One of the only. And he's number 2, so that's his claim to fame. I do like the sculpt of the hair, all slicked back and kind of pointed all the way to the back. I think it definitely captures the spirit of Lego Batman movie Joker. A smile would have maybe been a little bit better, but I think that the blue color behind the eye and then the kind of forlorn mouth expression definitely adds to this character. I think that Batman and Joker, from the first series here at least, both have a very sad appearance. I think a lot of Brickheads kind of have a certain melancholy tone to their appearance, but Joker, I think it's a little bit more pronounced because of, like I said, the printing on the face. And it's just a 1x4 tile. Without it, maybe he looks a little less sad. Maybe he doesn't. It's got a little tooth and some red lip makeup. It's also got a little print here on these on this 1x2 brick for a tie, and a little hint of a undershirt there, and then the 1x4 brick with some pockets and a little skull button. Very cute. I didn't mention the skulls on the tie, but that's it for detailing. Typical Brickhead eyes. He's got kind of a weird one here because so there's a couple quirks in early Brickheads. You can't rotate the arms without repositioning several pieces. Later Brickheads, not all of them, but a lot of them tend to make this an assembly so that it can be rotated and you can have them holding something perhaps, or whatever you would like them to do, but just a little bit more expressive. It's a little hard on these first few. I think that this is the first numbered Brickhead to have ears, which is interesting. We're going to see a lot of ears as we go through all of the Brickheads, and I think that they do them fine. They're not the worst things, but it's a double cheese wedge angled forward, and it's good from the front and maybe this side, but from the back, any kind of back angle, it looks weird. To me, at least. You'll have to let me know what you feel about it. His bad base plate that stole his legs is the smaller version with the number 1 printed tile. And again, that's common for all of Wave 1, and they do fix that, I believe, later on the way. They definitely address the base as being mediocre as hell. I think this is an important Brickhead because, again, we don't have a Joker in a non-Lego movie version, and we don't have any other versions of Joker, to be fair. This is the only one. And kind of the only villain of the first 8. We've got 4 Avengers and 4 Lego Batman movie characters, and they're all heroes. I mean, maybe you could argue Black Widow's not some kind of anti-hero or something, but the other ones are all heroes, as far as I'd say, except for Joker here. He's alone in that aspect. And maybe that's why he's not smiling. It's hard to say. I think it's important that we do disassemble him just enough to get to that brain. And it's pink. It's a pretty good standard brain color. I think that most Brickheads look fine with that. Can I also get in here to the innards? Oh, we're just going to break through the whole thing. Yep, anyways, this is a spine, organs. It's just gray. Kind of a boring one, to be fair. They're all simple builds, so we'll just push them back together. Oops. Looks like we lost a little bit of his side of his face there. There we go. Just lock him back together. Probably never take him apart again, if we're being honest. You can sit on the shelf, collect dust, and like all brickheads, kind of do nothing. But what are bobbleheads, vinyl figurines, or any kind of collectible numbered item really for? The entire experience of a Lego set is building it and rebuilding it perhaps, but with something that's meant to be slightly more collectible and displayable, it's hard for me to justify taking it apart and putting it back together. And you want to know a deep, deep, dark, dark secret? I didn't build this one. I got him like this. Sure, I've got a sealed copy that I could build myself, or I could take this one apart and build it, but I assume that this one's correct and as good as any other. So let's keep the other one sealed, and why would I go through the trouble of building it? I wouldn't say half my brickheads are in that same category, but more brickheads than I've... Is that even... That's hyperbolic, right? That's a gotta be. I have built a lot of brickheads, and I've not built a lot of brickheads. I have a lot of brickheads that are assembled, so what do I do with them? I guess we're going to put them on a shelf, like I said, and we'll do that, and we'll kind of try and keep up the theme here all the way as far as I can make it. But I think it's an interesting thing, at the very least, is that I've been able to collect a lot of brickheads, and a lot of these early brickheads are expensive, but they also go for cheaper than you might expect on eBay and Craigslist and whatever else sometimes. So definitely look for that. If you're trying to collect brickheads, skip this one. I'll be honest with you. Unless you like Joker as a character. I think all of Wave 1, unless you like the characters, are kind of, I wouldn't say lackluster, but they're standard. They're pure. There's a certain baseline that we're establishing, and Wave 1 definitely didn't have much wiggle room there. They were confined by the art form, and it's not really a problem. If you don't have any brickheads, don't go back and buy characters you don't like. If you've got lots of brickheads, finish up a set. Get all 4 Lego Batman movie ones, or say, hey, I want armored Batman, Superman, and Joker. Cool, nice little trio you'd end up with there. Sure, he doesn't glow in the dark, but he's a decent Batman. And Joker is definitely a very colorful addition to the collection. I will say that the worst part about him is the fact that he's a Series 1 on the bad base. Maybe I'll go through and buy all my Brickheadz bases so that I can have them all on uniform big bases, and make a nice display collection. Playability is low on all these, except for the fact that they're all Lego, so that you can just rebuild them into something else. I'd love to see a house made out of Brickheadz someday. Maybe I'll challenge myself to do that. But for now, you can just stare into his eyes and appreciate that you have meaning in your life.